Ladies and gentlemen, about 56 minutes late. I firmly blame Mr. Red. Of course, it's all his fault. We're actually talking about WVW, which, as a reminder, is not a part of this review. And I was just asleep because I'm exhausted. So, this is the Black Citadel. It looks like someone took a bunch of crudely hewn plates of metal and smacked them down in front of the planes. Probably because that's literally what it is. The Charr have an interesting aesthetic going for them. Probably because the fact that the Charr are relatively new in this area, right? The Charr aren't new as a species, or even as polities, plural, by the way. The legions are not and have not been unified for centuries. But, like, you could get their aesthetic, right? Their tables are planks of wood clipping into... laid out on top of barrels. Yeah, the Charr are the orcs. Let's just call it what it is. Now, I don't mind this because they do some fun stuff with the Charr, but let's be clear. If you think, what would the Klingons look like in Guild Wars, you're probably thinking in the correct direction. There's other cool aspects to the Charr, like culturally and societally. We won't be covering any of that until, honestly, a bajillion years from now. So all you need to know right now is that this is what it looks like. I do like how their road is just a bunch of gears laid down and then pattered over with dirt. That's also the Citadel itself, which you'll notice looks completely... I don't know what to call that. It's not even hodgepodge. It's like scaffolding the fortress, right? And I lost internet. I just lost my internet completely. Wow. That's the first time I've lost internet on this news. Wait, hang on. But I'm still playing the game, right? Hang on, let's find out. No, I appear to have internet, so I just lost connection with Twitch. Okay. Why did I lose connection with Twitch? Oh, no, okay, so it really was just a Twitch blip. Alright, whatever. Anyway, so, as you can see, scaffolding, right? Like, there's just chunks of... You can actually see the infrastructure cabling there. And then you can actually see the plates just kind of smacked on top of it. Yes, I know. Thank you, Giga. I do have the capacity to understand that A, everyone in chat is telling me that stream died, and B, my connection to Twitch just disconnected. But thank you for telling me. I now have 3 sources telling me that I lost Twitch, or stream, rather. Anyways, over here we've got the smelting pit. It looks exactly like what you'd imagine. It's actually a salvage pit. I'm just poking fun, Giga. I'm sorry. Like, literally, they just take giant chunks of whatever and throw it into the slag and make it work. Yeah, the Charr in vanilla are very utilitarian to the point where you could argue they don't have a culture. I would go so far as to say that I think the Charr are kind of badly written in vanilla. I know, that's really shocking. To try and imagine that one of the species does not have a lot of really good world-building, culture, society, development, economics, politics, etc. in vanilla. But if you could just swallow your disbelief for about 5 seconds. What? No! Alright, anyways. Point is, while this city is, I would say, neutral as far as navigation, like, it's not great. Everything's just kind of laid out all over the place, but it's not as big as some of the really big places like Destiny's Reach. And there's no mazes to navigate like some other places. So it's fine. Ultimately, this city is... There's a reason nobody ever goes to this city, though. It's just there. So, yes and no, Kraken-san, is the short answer to that. We actually diplomatized and worked together with several Charr back in Guild Wars 1, but only in the final expansion, Eye of the North. There's a whole lot of asterisks there. Put simply, I'm pretty sure a lot of this was retcon, because the Charr were originally just bad guys. They were just servitors of the Titans. Then it turns out that there was a faction of the Charr, and they started asking factions to them, which was called the Flame Legion. The Flame Legion were the worshippers and followers of the Titans, and they caused most of the issues, while the other legions were either complicit, because they refused to fight them, or we're actively fighting the Flame Legion. You will notice that the Flame Legion are the bad guy Charr faction. No, each of the... Shut up, 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 shut up. You'll notice that each of the vanilla races, all of the starter races, excuse me, have a bad guy faction. It's the Flame Legion for the Charr. You'd think it'd be the Ascalonian Ghost, but no. Anyways. But yeah, as you'll see during the quest we're about to do, they're not great. I do like the aesthetics of this city. Similar to Divinity's Reach, I think the visuals is where it kind of excels. So, just kind of zoom out for a second. It definitely helps sell the vibe. It's not a great city in any other respect, though. Moving on.
At ease, soldier. Your warband paid a heavy toll fending off the recent ghost incursion. Their names will be remembered with honor.
Thank you, Tribune. I plan to remember them by blasting apart every last ghost left out there.
Imperator Smolder and I share your sentiment. The Iron Legion must find a way to end this ghost problem for good. But to do that, we're going to need better weapons.
I might have just the thing, sir. I've been designing a firearm specifically to eradicate ghosts. I call it my Ghost-Bore musket.
Ah, yes. I remember reading that proposal. Between that and your performance against Baradin, I'm promoting you to acting Legionnaire. Do well, and it'll be permanent.
Thank you, sir. But my warband's been decimated. There's only one other soldier left.
You can solve that problem the Iron Legion way. Build a new warband and bring me a working prototype of that weapon. Clear?
Clear, sir. I'll build a warband, and a weapon the Iron Legion can be proud to call their own.
There's some really cool stuff they do with warbands later. I don't think any of that exists in vanilla. Put very, 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 very simply, while they do have family units, let me walk that sentence back. While they do have children and parents, their family units are their warbands. Make sense? So in several cases, they have no particular connection to their parents or their children or their siblings, because their actual family is their crew. Make sense? I don't just mean that in like the casual sense of how you tend to be really close to your friends. No, I mean like that's their family unit. That's their structural unit in terms of society.
Did you hear something?
Yeah, I think someone is coming. Tell them to hurry.
Oh no, it's the Flame Legion.
You there. We know about the Ghost-Bore musket plans. Hand them over, and I'll just leave a scar.
Come and get them, Zealot. I'll pull off your horns and nail your tail to the floor with them.
Oh, I'm going to enjoy roasting you alive.
Kill them before they shout. Kill them all before they burn our barracks.
Well, the Charr are supremely ununified, Bladefall. And also, every time the Charr have tried to expand, they've had issues doing so. You say they have technological prowess, but actually, realistically speaking, the Charr are pretty far behind the curve. Like, put this like this. The Charr have crude tanks, basically trucks with guns attached. The Assurans have golems. And you see that mech flying around with me? Yeah, that's even more advanced. Jade Tech's another thing, though. We'll get there when we get there.
We need to hold this area.
I mean, Jade Tech is better, I'm sorry.
a good day until I kill someone.
I have got good news for you, buddy. Either way, my point is they don't really have much of a tech advantage. The difference is they tend to have a bit of a military advantage. Or at least one of them does, the Iron Legion. Yeah, later on we start sharing technology as it becomes the Tyrian Alliance. And then, sure, yeah, sure. Like, I'm trying to explain this. Have you ever played a 4X game, Blade Turval? If you were to play as the Charr in that 4X game, you would have like a really good early game advantage. Like you get mechs or tanks or vehicles earlier than everyone else. And you gain access to like really good fighting units. But they taper off very quickly because the technological progress of the Charr is pathetic. And you would be saddled with all kinds of internal strife issues because the Charr are super not unified. Put it like this, the Charr's big chance to sweep was about 2 centuries ago. And they spent most of that time in a civil war. Which we helped them with.
Once on a dare, I swallowed a thumbtack. I think it's still in there.
Gross. They also have the problem of not having particularly fertile lands. I don't just mean fertile in terms of like food. Charr have a long-standing resource problem. So, when the Charr conquered Ascalon, they did so by burning Ascalon to the ground, more or less literally. And if you give me a second, I'll show you what I mean. Like, they keep talking about the Ascalonian ghosts and all that. Yeah, you see those ruins over there? You see how it's just now starting to get overgrown? Like, obviously, there's plenty of growing lands here. I don't want to sound like it's completely barren of resources, but this was not a great place to be setting up a new civilization in. They did it anyways because they're orcs, excuse me. But yeah, this whole area here, this is your dry, barren wasteland kind of territory, and this is Charr land. Over here you have the Shiver Peaks, nice big frozen hellscape, which is also claimed by a whole bunch of other people. And over here you have the Brand, which you'll notice goes right through Charr lands. So, that didn't work out very well for them either. Oh, that's funny, Dakota. I like that idea.
I thought the scrapyard would have more... scrappers in it.
Hey, Yada. So I need to salvage some parts. Let's see. Grab some salvage. Oh, ooze. Ooze. I should also mention that while the Charr don't not have access to magic, as a polity, they're really far behind, magically speaking. I would say literally every other playable race, all the other members of the Tyrian Alliance, are ahead of them in terms of magical tech. Including the humans.
We know about your weapon plan. Give them here, or you'll be sorry.
I'm sorry.
Cover me. I've got something special for these punks.
Is it a cannon? I hope it's a cannon. They really want my gun, don't they? Apparently it's just that good of a gun. Gotta admit, I'm really being sold in the class fantasy of being a mechanist? Mechanist engineer? Whatever this class is called.
This is going to sting. A lot.
It's okay, I've got a spear. I got this. It's not really a joke. I suppose I'll show off the mace a little bit. Yeah, there's a reason I already had a mace ready to go for this. You'll notice it's one of the Eye of the North maces. As I bothered to get it for this.
Fork over the plans or we'll roast you alive.
Not a chance, soft claws.
Start to rifle for weeks.
Hide behind that filthy hag, coward. We'll be back.
Flame Legion, here. Good thing I had my sticky shot ammo. It's buckshot coated in lye. It hits, sticks, and burns.
That's great stuff. Hey, my warband could use another experienced weaponsmith. Interested?
Interested? Are you serious? I've been stuck in this scrapyard as a Gladium for months. I'm desperate.
Serious as an edge on steel. Once my Ghostborn musket passes muster, I could bring you in. But first, I have to test it.
Cray's steel grinder patrols out by the Barradin estate. He loves provoking the ghosts. You should test it there.
Perfect. I'll update Tribune Goreblade, then assemble the Ghostborn musket and head to the Barradin estate. That should provide a target-rich environment.
Alright. So yeah, putting the band together is our initial story arc with the Charr. Because ours kind of died. I'm sure you also noticed the mentality of the Charr there a little bit in the thing. So we go to our... Remember, we're all the military, because all the Charr are part of the military. No, they're not. And they say, well, you lost all your troops, and it's not our job to replenish your troops. It's your job. Go replenish your troops. And we're like, okay. So we gotta go do our own recruiting. Honestly, part of the whole Charr are bad guys thing in vanilla is we're a little bit Sith-coded. Not fully. Not to the extent of, like, the Drow or... You know, honestly, most races that do that. But just enough that, like, the vibe is there. That is the wrong skin. Did I not have this skin when I did this? Hello, cat. How are you? There we go. Not that I'm aware of. Does anyone know if there's a Control S in this game? Because every time I do it, I have to do this. And just do it manually.
Your father's very proud of you, but he had work to do. You'll see him again soon. Promise.
Flame Legion's gone too far. They ought to have been wiped out long ago.
You know what they say. Cut off a snake's head and the body dies.
Yep, we just have to figure out who's leading the Flame Legion. Wait. Flame Legion. Mr. Red. Mr. Red? Hello, cat. Welcome to my lap. Remember, you're not allowed on the desk. But I'll scratch you while you're here. Turn around now. Where am There it is. Hang on a sec, cat. There we go. Here. I'll give you scritches. Be thankful for scritches. These are what we call pity scritches. I know you're probably bored. I'm sorry your stuff isn't here yet, cat. Hey look, it's Smoder the Unflinching. We'll talk about him later. A lot later. There we go. Okay, now I'll give you more sketches.
Ah, here's my new up-and-comer now. I was just telling Tribune Brimstone about you. Nothing good, of course.
Nope, nope, nope.
Don't you believe him, soldier? In fact, Tribune Goreblade was bragging about some special weapons project you're heading up. I have an update on that, sir. I've acquired parts and ammunition for my Ghostbore musket. I've also arranged a weapons test. But there's a problem. I've seen the Flame Legion twice inside the Citadel. First, they were after my plans, and then they showed up at the scrapyard to ambush me. They want my weapon, and they want me dead.
Flame? Inside the Citadel? Ah, that steams my ears. How did they find out about your weapon design?
I told you, Bure. The Flame Commanders are nervous. If this musket makes ghosts take longer to reform, we'll need less troops to fight them. If that happens, Smoder will allocate more soldiers against the Flame Legion and will finally wipe them out. Mind if I watch the weapon tests?
Sure. Just stay behind the gun this time, Brimstone. I'll invite Tribune Torga of the Ash Legion, too. She'll want to see this.
That's another thing. I forgot to mention that. So, back to that 4X game where you're playing as the Charr. You also have an environmental detriment. Ghosts of Ascalon. How exactly it's expressed would be dependent on the specifics of the type of game.
I got it.
Good. Thank you, Dinky. But, as Ritlock just kind of mentioned, the Charr have spent a decent chunk of the last 2 centuries allocating most of their army to defending their own lands against ghosts that spring up from within their own lands. Just picture that for a second. Picture how much of a non-stop aggravation that would be, especially given how relatively fast ghosts regenerate. Jesus, room. Just give me some room here. Frickin' mech. Yeah, the ghosts pretty much don't stop respawning. Now, there are ways to stop the ghosts from respawning, but those involve things that the Charr don't really know about. Yes, actually, Blade Troll. And you should know the answer to that, because you've done that dungeon. With me, actually. Just a few days ago. Okay, let's go try this sucker out. Fair enough, Blade Chaval. So it's really, really simple. I want you to imagine you're playing Guild Wars 1. Bear with me, this is actually relevant. There you are, everything's peaceful. Everything's kind of like, you know, idyllic. In fact, here, hang on. Let me set the scene for you, okay? So there you are. You're in Ascalon. Beautiful, peaceful, idyllic, very resource-rich, right? It's very, very plentiful and lush land. It's been a great land for the humans for a very, very long time, right? And you're a human, of course, because the only race you play as back then is human. And this music's playing. And it's like, everything's wonderful and amazing. Nothing bad is ever going to happen to this lush, idyllic wilderness. Actually, as much as I'm making fun, Guild Wars 1 did a decent job of not actually foreshadowing the sundering. Or the shattering, or whatever it was called. Because it really did just seem like you were in grasslands, right? That's like the default RPG newbie area, right? It's just doing local quests and helping people with local issues. If you really went out of your way, you'd find a couple of signs, but nothing in the MSQ at all even hinted at the fact that something was coming. So, everything's fine and peaceful and wonderful forever. And then the Fire Legion attacks, and that's not really a joke. Hang on. But then... Wait, no, that's the wrong song. There it is. But then... Massive cavalcades of death and destruction rain down upon the area. The entire city is destroyed in a single attack, and you're desperately trying to even get what few pitiful survivors you can out of here. The ground no longer seeps water and instead just seeps tar and mud, and all of the lush vegetation is ruined and burnt to a crisp. The wall is shattered, and the walls of the cities are pulled down and become nothing more than ruins for what tattered remains. So, a lot of people died in that attack. Like, a lot of people died in that attack. During that attack, the human king of the time decided to go ahead and use the legendary sword that he had access to in order to curse all of his loyal soldiers and fellow Ascalonians to becoming ghosts and being chained to the land forevermore. And for the last 2 centuries, those ghosts have gotten right back up. We actually fought a few in the dungeon I just mentioned. The ghosts have gotten right back up and gone back to fighting the Charr. And as ghosts are wont to do, they actually fight anyone. They don't care if you're Charr or not. They have been given the one-note programming of defend, and that's it. So anything and anyone that shows up, defend. Some of the ghosts have a little more sentience than that, but not many. So if you know anything about ghosts in any fiction ever, the only solution here is to somehow end the curse. To fulfill the curse and end the Ascalonians' torment. Because to be clear, the Ascalonians aren't really having a good time here either. But the Charr don't care, or haven't bothered in the last 2 centuries. So instead, they just send out wave after wave of their own troops to constantly kill ghosts. And when I say constantly, I freaking mean it. It is an everyday aspect of their life, fighting ghosts. Yes, I know. I'm probably missing some other details, but that's the final reason. Do they know the curse can be removed? That's a good question, which I don't actually have an answer to. I'm gonna go with, I don't know. So, poisoned land, cursed land, literally, non-unified, constantly fighting ghosts and each other. Frankly, it's astonishing the Charr have anything at all right now. It's, I would say with near total certainty that plenty of other races are aware of the fact that they could end the curse, and haven't really been, shall we say, Jesus Christ! Talk about overshot. Oh my god. And haven't been volunteering that information because the Charr are dangerous. And of course, racism. You gotta have racism. Hey look, that's just making my point for me. Here's some Ascalonians right now. You notice these are not soldiers. These are just peasants. That's actually what I wanted to show off right there. Just plain old people. So, yeah, it sucks here, top to bottom. Honestly, you could argue that it sucks a little bit too much, and they did too much to keep the Charr contained in or hemmed in or whatever, narratively.
Victory. So, you're Lucia's friend? I hear you brought a new weapon to test.
You've got all 3 Tribunes behind you watching like hawks, so this had better be good. What do you got? It's called the Ghostborn Musket, soldier. What kind of test do you have planned? Lucia said it was a ghost killer. I can't wait to see it in action. My warband's down in the ruins, ready to flush out ghosts on my signal. We'll lure waves of ghosts into the kill zone, that ravine right there. Then you can open fire. That sounds solid. Let me get in position, and then we'll do some ghost hunting.
Freaking ghosts. Yeah, if you're paying attention, this brand new super weapon we're testing, it isn't even like an anti-ghost weapon in the strictest sense of the word.
I signal my warband, and they're on the
It's just a way to prevent the Ascalonian ghosts from regenerating as quickly.
There's Rack, a bunch of ghosts.
And that's it.
Gangway! Ghost train coming through!
Here comes Rhodes, and she's bringing friends.
Heads up! Here I come and I'm bringing company!
Okay, I might be getting a little bit overextended here. I think it's stupid. And yes, my golem has a falcon punch. Of course it does. Oh, there is one I missed. No! There's one ghost I missed. There.
Timber's coming in.
What if there's an achievement for killing, like, all the ghosts here?
Look alive! I've got ghosts on my tail. Wahoo!
I sure hope not, because there's no way to replay these without just making a new character. That's a bit much even for Guild Wars 2.
Wow, those ghosts disappeared faster than a Meat-toberfest ham. The musket performed better than I expected. But let's see how it does in a less controlled combat situation. That's easy. Push farther into the ruins, and you'll get all the uncontrolled combat you need. Perfect. We'll fight our way in deep and grab a trophy to prove that ghosts couldn't stop us. That should impress the Tribune.
Yeah, I think you made an interesting comparison point there, Blade Taval. What? I just killed these guys. Oh my god, whatever. Most early race, most burgeoning kingdoms have to deal with like bandits or monsters or whatever, right? Ghosts are interesting in that they're less of a tactical threat, but they don't go away. In other words, it takes less relative effort and or manpower to take down a group of ghosts. But they come back over and over and over and over and over again. And at that point, it's just a tax, isn't it? It's a military tax. Do you have this many troops in your hometown? If not, ghosts start causing issues. Yeah, it's pest control, exactly. Worms, if you played Alpha Centauri. Dangerous, sure, but just not the same type of dangerous. Okay.
Oh, now I want a ghost torch too. I'd hang it over my bunk and name it. Ha! Did you see those ghosts pop? Outstanding.
done exceptional work, Legionnaire. Iron Legion is mighty proud. You'll get a commendation for this, I promise you.
A commendation and a rollout. Blood Legion's already got ideas how to put your upgrade to use.
Hold on, Brimstone. Ash needs that weapon more than your bruisers.
Huh. Too bad it's not your decision. Iron built the weapon, so Iron will make the choice. Demonstrate how you would use the Ghost Boar weapon, so my designer can evaluate and choose. Meet us at the Exterminatus HQ, and bring your ordnance, and your best manners.
Do I have manners? I suppose that's fair, PB Good Faith.
Blood and Ash should share like we do. Smoosh them together and call it the Blast Legion.
I like it.
Portable turrets. That's pure Ash. Skulk in and take piddly little potshots at the enemy.
Better than your cannon. One big offensive strike that's as likely to miss as it is to hit. Ears up, soldiers. I'm here to conduct the weapons test. I'm Snarl Backdraft, Ash Legion. Good thing you're on time. If this bloody hardhead said one more word, I was gonna kill her myself.
You, with your bad aim, keep pretending, Ash trash. I'm Galena Edgecrusher Blood Legion. Once you see our cannon in operation, Legionnaire, you won't need to test anything else.
Go ahead. Test Blood's cannon first. It's always good to start on the bottom of the pile. Fine. Blood goes first. Galena, how are you using my Ghost Boar weaponry with your cannon?
We launch flares and broadcast taunts to draw out packs of ghosts, and you blast them to smithereens.
Sounds fun. Get ready to taunt your tails off. I'll keep my finger on the trigger.
Maybe PB Good Fate. Look, they kill a lot of humans, okay? And everyone, actually.
Wake up, ghost mice of Ascalon. Blood Legion is here to take everything you have again. Your land and your lives, ours. We will erase you. Tyria will forget your pathetic kingdom ever existed.
So, I get why she's so mad at the ghosts.
Filed the bones of your ancestors for sport. Adelburn's grave is our latrine.
But, like, are you listening to her? I know, she's literally taunting. You like... I got it.
I hear you sniveling, you glittering clouds of failure. That's not thunder, you whimpering little worms. It's cannon fire. Blood Legion cannon fire.
Actually, this is Iron Legion cannon fire.
Go back to the mists and stay there. End this humiliation.
Reptilian aliens serving a toxic god. Hello, Elizar. That's not the Knightly Order name.
You're hopeless, helpless, worthless. Adelburn's army is a joke. A pathetic deed.
What's up, Caldwell?
No wonder your city fell so easily. No wonder we slaughtered you all and laughed ourselves sick.
Well, confirmed, whatever it is you were checking there. Oh.
We're laughing now, dead Scalonians. You don't like it? Come shut us up.
Yeah, Chromium did. Ah.
Ha! How's that, Snarl? Let's see your pop gun turrets beat that.
Did you hear that? Dead Scalonian.
My first thought was like the Weeping Sludge or something like that on Wolfenstein. But I feel like we should work scales in there or something. Hmm.
Not bad for loud, pointless noise. Come on, let me show you a more elegant use of the ghost boar weaponry. Our turrets are powerful and portable. A single soldier can deploy up to 3 on a battlefield and coordinate fire.
So you kill the ghosts where you find them, instead of luring them close.
Exactly. For this test, we're holding ghosts in a containment unit. You place the turrets, we'll release the prey.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get started.
That's true. I like weeping, though, as like an adjective term for it. I mean, weeping scales, maybe? Because I was also thinking, the idea for weeping came from what does poison usually do to you, right? Elizar, you're toxically awesome.
Legion. Ready? Release the ghosts. Come on. Let's see if iron can do more than draw blueprints.
Yep, let me just use my turrets here.
The turrets are all yours. Just them any way you like. They're portable. Whenever you're ready, I'm standing by.
Could you release more ghosts, please?
Walk softly.
You know what, this is silly. No, I've only played the one Life is Strange game, and it's the one I streamed. And the ending sucked.
For Ash Legion.
By the way, given a choice, which Legion would you serve? There's Flame Legion. They're a bunch of insane zealots who worship dead gods. I also have a thing for fire. There's the Ash Legion. That's the spies, saboteurs, rogues, put simply. There's the Blood Legion. They're the troops. They get up there and they punch things.
Soldiers, I'm looking at you, Galena. I won't gloat.
And there's Iron Legion. They're the engineers.
Ash turrets outperform the Blood King. If you don't see that, you're simple too.
Ooh, I like that. The Weeping Emerald Scales. Yeah, that's good. Good idea, Bladeville.
Officer on deck. Tribune Goreblade. The tests are complete. I've got all the information I need to decide.
Not too difficult, I trust. Between Galena and Snarl, you were lucky not to be ripped in half.
Well done, Legionnaire. So which application of your weapon earns the upgrade?
Excuse me, Tribune. A large ghost force is massing near Ashford Forum. They're calling a muster to fight them off.
Ah, an opportunity. If you have no objections, Brimstone, let's send both Blood and Ash to confront the ghosts.
Definitely. The more force, the better. But which side gets the ghost boar weaponry?
Let me confer with my Legionnaire. I'll let you know.
They really are building up this choice that does not matter at all, aren't they? Let's go with Ash. Should be, Elizar. Might be on the archives, though. Well, do you want to be an IT? They really, really don't. First of all, usually choices in vanilla affect the immediate quest after the choice you make, and occasionally get referenced later. That's about as far as that tends to go. Honestly, do not stress the choices in vanilla. Just pick whatever. So do you want to be an Ian, an Ite, or I forget the third one? Most species names follows N or Ian, like Vulcans, Romulans, Klingons, or an Ite, like Benzites or Bedamites, stuff like that. Sometimes you'll have an Oid, Betazoids. I have no idea. I haven't heard a single goddamn thing from them, Ross. I'm actually pretty upset about that, to be 100% honest with you. Busted my ass for 4 weeks solid to get the house ready for sale, and then I haven't heard a single peep from them since I moved out. Not your fault. For what it's worth, I have been stalking the house on Housing Sale app. It's still there. It's still for sale. That's about all I got. Oh, the imposter bot? Yeah, it really was just an imposter bot. By the way, if you see anyone named The Lore Runner on Discord, that is not me. That was actually pointed out to me by a viewer. Or maybe it was just a streamer. I actually don't know because I can't send whispers on Twitch, so I was never able to communicate with the person in question. But either way. It's just a bot, Giga. I guarantee you. So what it was, I actually looked into it very briefly. It was like my Twitch name, and then my Twitch page description in the bot description, and then the bot would send out messages being like, hey, do this. And if you asked it a very, very basic question, it wouldn't know how to respond to that. Because it's a bot. I guarantee you all it did was scrape a few dozen or 100 or thousands of Twitch names and see which ones weren't taken by Discord. For those of you not familiar with it, my Discord name is Lore Runner without the at the front of it.
Tribute Brimstone. I thought you'd be with the Blood Legion forces. Alina's got the troops well in hand. I wanted to see your new ghost boar turrets in action.
Look alive, you furry maggots. The Maker's here so we can get started. Get ready to move out on my order.
We've secured a forward camp, Legionnaire. Your ghost boar turrets are there, waiting for deployment. No more waiting. The more time War Master Lebowski has, the bigger his army will be. We strike now. Soon, Lebowski's army will be nothing but a ghost of its former self.
Do you get it?
Boss, it's bad. The ghosts are on the move. They surrounded my warband and cut us to pieces. I barely made it out alive, and they're right behind me.
Oh yes, we can, Zimzer. I have a well-ordnance surprise planned for this ghostly War Master. With these new weapons, we can't fail. Quick and quiet, Ash Legion. Let's clear the road.
By the way, in case you missed that, and I just want to read this back really quick. He just said, I barely made it out alive, and they're right behind me. And the response to that was, yes, we can.
Lead the way. Everyone else, form up on me.
Someone didn't coordinate with someone somewhere. That is correct, Elizar. That's the one.
Those
guys really should have waited for this.
I mean, Charr and Idiot are not exactly an uncommon thing.
Not a bad fight.
This is your forward camp? What happened here?
Ghosts.
happened.
Oh my god, I was kidding.
Warband was cut down before we could fight back. I barely got out with my ears intact.
Everything's gonna be alright, kid. Come on. Join my warband for now. I'll position you with my soldiers in the ghost board turrets.
You got it, boss. I owe Lebowski and his ghost mice an ocean of pain.
You'll be an asset. Just keep your daggers in your hands and your eyes sharp. This isn't the Farrar anymore.
I'm a man who knows the value of humanity. Once I enriched myself at society's expense. Now, I shed my own blood to defend it.
Uh-huh.
The animals we face today are not human. They don't understand humanity, nor do they value it.
Oh, whoops. I had to talk to Ritlock.
I say let them come. Together, humanity is stronger than the Charr legions. We stand together. We fight together. We survive together. Today, humanity does not fall. Today, we destroy our enemies. For Ascalon!
Yeah, Ascalon's gone and has been for a really long time. Very Dark Soulsy kind of a thing here.
Standing by for placement.
Come here. Come here.
Good call, boss. I'll dig in here.
Very dinky.
Best part of marching is the middle. You know, just stands.
Come here, Dinky. Come here, Dinky. Oh my god, I don't even care. Do you notice, by the way?
Ready, steady, and steady.
You notice how some of the player characters, they're very naturally lending towards leadership, which is appropriate for someone who will eventually be known as the Commander. And some of them don't. I wonder if they did that on purpose. Like, the Norn is just a hunter who happened to gain a bunch of early prestige, right? And the Sylvari is someone who was just really good at fighting. But the Ashura is someone who already had their own crew. And the Charr literally builds their own warband throughout the course of the initial story arc. And is already giving orders by, like, level 10. It's interesting to think about. We all know canonically that we're the Sylvari, of course. Where are you going? Come here. Oh my god, you can tell when they have waypoints, can't you? Whatever. I'm just gonna run out and kill them all. Boss, where are you going? I got this. I know, Colgrim. I'm not really digging it. It's just, it is interesting that in some cases it would make sense that we kind of naturally grew into a position of leadership. In others, there's no logic behind it. We're just there. Honestly, the only point I'm trying to make is that Vanilla's story was not coordinating with itself very well.
They're beelining straight for our vehicle.
Also known as Lorshard. Yeah, all of you, stand right here. Boss, where are you going? Gonna go kill the entire enemy force by myself. Boss, no, what about the cannon? It's okay, I've got a spear. What? Oops. We're just kill stealing. Oh god. It's like XCOM when you get all the kills on your sniper, so your sniper's like level 15 and everyone else is just falling further and further behind. Alright, I'm gonna allow you a couple to kill. You've got until I get there to kill them. Ah, too late. I actually don't remember who Lebowski was, but almost every named Ascalonian ghost is someone from Guild Wars 1. Usually an NPC. Oh, guys, we're doomed. He's figured out plot armor. He really has. Look at this! Look at this! Hang on. Hang on. Hey! He made it! We can officially start the fight now. Whew. Starting to get worried. I mean, okay, fair. PB good. I guess I can't say anything against that.
I'm impressed. You've brought the Charr one step closer to putting these ghosts down. For good.
Thank you, Tribune.
By killing them just same way we have been for literal centuries.
If you're looking for a new warband, I'd be happy to have you in mind.
Are you kidding? You saved my life and helped me avenge my warband. I'd be honored. I just don't know if Snarl will allow it.
He'll allow it. Torga owes me for some information I gave her on the Flame Legion. After the Ash Tribune says yes, Snarl won't argue. Goreblade will be proud, Legionnaire. You sure you don't want to upgrade my cannons too?
Ha! If I had the time, sir, I would. But right now, I've got to concentrate on my warband. We've still got a long way to go.
A pity, but that's the right answer. I'll be keeping an eye on your progress, so don't let me down. Dismissed.
I love how Ritlock's teeth jut through the top of his mouth periodically.
I couldn't hear. Did he wail when he died? I love it when you do that.
Oh man, it's so great when people wail when they die. I was talking to Mr. Red the other way, turning him into Mr. Dead, obviously. It was like listening to a whale. Okay, I didn't intend that. Ah, whatever. I told Mr. Red to serve Garrosh, and he was just like, why? Why?
Legionnaire. Glad you could make it. Got some news I wanted to deliver to you personally.
Okay.
My sire's letter says his warband found treasure near the old Greenwich courthouse. They hid it until only one warband mate was left to claim it. Unfortunately, my sire's entire warband went down together, so it falls to me.
Very interesting. I've always suspected that courthouse held valuable relics. I used to explore around there when I was a cub. You've got me curious. If that treasure is a powerful or valuable human relic, the Imperator will need to be informed. I'm relieving you of regular duty until you track this down. Report back to me as soon as you know anything.
That's right, we just got discharged from formal military service to go treasure hunting. I know. It's a little more than that, but it was kind of funny. Listen, we're pretty sure that you need to go pillage and loot the city we just conquered. So I'm officially discharging you from formal military service until you're done pillaging the populace. Let me think about that for a sec, Plato.
Whenever I plan, I fall asleep.
Oh my god, Dinky. Honestly, I'm gonna go with one of my favorites. And for all the same basic reasons. All of them have something a little bit more to be invested in the main plot, and strike me as a little bit more competent than the others. So, Sylvari, Assuran, Charr. Not necessarily in that order. Now, I know I just named 3 out of 5 races. So that doesn't really narrow it down a little bit. So if I had to order those...
I'll remember the code, boss. Well, I'll remember to have it. Someone else needs to remember the digits.
I'm admittedly very biased towards Assuran, because I've done a huge swath of the plot on my female Ashura, and she kinda nails the voice acting on a lot of scenes. I know that's a dumb reason to pick, but she absolutely sells a lot of the scenes for me.
Prepare to bleed.
So I'm going to go with my bias. I'm going to say Assuran first, then Charr, then Sylvari. Right, I probably should have written that down. Zero 4. And after that, I guess human, and then dead last, Norn. Why are the Norn even here? Eight. 804.
I'll remember the code, boss. Well, I'll remember to have it. Someone else needs to remember the digits.
I don't know, Mr. Ritt. Like, I get that the Norn are different culturally, and that's fine. But, like... I mean, as a reminder, there was one playable race in Guild Wars 1. Human. You could be an Alolan, a Canthan, or an Ascalonian, but you're always human. Oh, and the difference was purely cosmetic. I guess it is in this game, too, so that's whatever. The Perdudge. Perdouge?
Lots of trees. What's all that stuff floating around? Trees? Trees?
No, trees. Oh my god. So what's Perdouge? I don't think I've heard of that, Elizar.
Ghosts like to sneak up on you, but the joke's on them. I'm used to not hearing the enemy approach.
Purge. Oh, that has... Wow, okay. Sorry, your second question was about wrestling. And I was a little bit confused because I was wondering what Perdouge was related to wrestling. Hang on. Do you think The Purge is about wrestling? Okay, we need to have a chat, Elizar. Okay, so first of all, The Purge is not about wrestling. Let's just get that out of the way. Wrestling is about hiring stunt actors to actually do the job of real workers while simultaneously trying to keep up this weirdly complicated storyline of betrayals and heels. I have a lot of respect for wrestling. I've never been super into it myself, except back in the so-called golden era, which is the late 90s. There was a period of time there where wrestling was kind of really awesome, at least for the viewer. It was really terrible for the wrestlers. And learning about that is one of the reasons why I started bowing out of it. Like, wrestlers did not have a good lot in life. There are actually wrestlers in the more modern era who are still, as of now, dealing with, you know, essentially permanent body damage because they were wrestlers, right? Like that's just a consequence of the job at that point. Can I shoot, please? There we go. I thought they got rid of Ed McMahon and started improving things, but that's a shame, Colgrim. Oh my god. The bog scale. I don't know what that is. Oh, Hogan was always a piece of trash. The person, the human being. Seriously, if you ever want to not lose like faith in humanity, don't look up the kind of a person Hulk Hogan was. He was also a pretty bad actor. Although Hogan turning heel was a story arc, I'll give you that. Weirdly appropriate in hindsight. Yeah, sorry, Terry Bollea. Let me be very clear about that. Anyways, the Purge series. So the Purge series is one of those series that's always been kind of more interesting than it is good. And that's pretty much what I have to say about the Purge.
Tribune, I have a report. I hunted down one half of my sire's key, but the other half has been stolen. Whoever did it wasn't subtle. The lock was smashed.
I bet I know who's responsible. Scrapper bands like to sweep that area. Sounds like their work.
Scrappers? Low-life scavengers. Do you know how I can find them?
Not specifically. I'm told that a wave of scrappers from Lamia Mire have moved on to Chargate Haven.
If I were you, I'd look there first. But remember, scrappers are the undisciplined dregs of the legions. They won't respect your rank unless you make it worth their while. Or force them to. The way I see it, your options are to win them over or beat them down. Either way is fine by me. Which do you like better?
Listen, I'll let you choose. Win them over or beat them down. Which one? Or sorry, Vince McMahon, not Ed McMahon. Different person, sorry. Win them over, okay. I was like The Undertaker. And if I'm being honest, the $1 Million Man. But no, I bet you could guess my favorite wrestler. Depends on your build, as always. We weren't joking the other day when we said that if you just go with Berserker stats, you're good for, honestly, 95% of the game. Not even joking. Just get Berserker gear. Which, for record, is power, precision, ferocity. And that's it. That's your setup. You're good to go. No, I haven't, Mr. Red. Oh, you mean the dialogue choices. So you know how we've talked a few times about how vanilla introduced concepts and then basically threw them out the window? Yeah, in a game that barely had, emphasis on past tense, tanking stats, and effectively had no healing, the best strategy quickly became be a berserker. Just kill as quickly as possible. Now, nowadays you can play a tank and you can play a healer. They're actually pretty good, too. You can even play a buffer. But unfortunately, the overall, or should I say the underpinning game design never changed from that original idea. They tacked on concepts, but the code is still the same, right? So to this day, DPSing the enemy down is still a very viable strategy. I mean, honestly, that's true in a lot of games, but it's kind of worse in Guild Wars 2. It really is the default option, you know? Hello?
Need something?
Victory at any cost.
Need something?
Yeah, we could CC, or we could kill them all.
What now?
I need scrappers for a salvage job. There's a treasure chest in Lamia Mire that I want found.
You're wasting your time, soldier. We got there first. We've got salvage rights.
That chest was my sire's. Your claim won't mean much when I open your necks. Now, are you willing to deal, or do I start killing?
Calm down, soldier. We'll give you what we found in the chest and withdraw our claim, if you help us with another job to make up for it.
Sounds fair. You deserve something for your trouble. I'm listening. Just don't make any more trouble for me.
We won't. Meet us in Wodron Glens, and we'll explain the job there. Too many prying eyes here at the Haven.
Wow. So it looks like the Crown, Heart, and Fist thing was formally abandoned in April of 2014. I was actually just double-checking myself. Used to be that the options you picked gave you points in that particular stat, and that changed which personality you were given. Noble, captivating, barbaric, diplomatic, militant, scoundrel, unpredictable, charming, honorable, brute. Which one would change which options you had access to in some NPCs. So that's the only gameplay change that ever really had. That hasn't been a thing for a long time. It's okay, Eleazar. Someone in chat correctly guessed, so I figured you saw that and presumed accordingly. It was Andre the Giant. Hey, Dr. Winter. Andre was cool. He was an interesting wrestler, and more to the point, he was actually a decent human being. Not actually that uncommon amongst wrestlers. Harry was an exception. Yes, I've seen the picture, Eleazar. Oh, 100% relatable. 100%. They were very ambitious with Guild Wars, too. Honestly, that was probably a good thing. There's nothing necessarily wrong with being ambitious and then scaling it back. Not really. It's better than being ambitious and then just plain out failing, right?
Ready for work, boss? Here's the plan. There are Ascalonian artifacts under that rubble. We can't get them because we keep getting attacked.
Attacked? By what?
Don't laugh, okay? Okay. It's cows. There, I said it. I dream about them coming for me in the night with the horrible death moves.
Cows. You're afraid of cows.
Technically, these are ghost cows. And don't pick on Browgett. He's got a thing about cows and ghosts. So ghost cows are a real problem. Look, your job is simple. Keep the ghost cows off us, and we'll get the artifacts.
And then you'll hand over the last part of my father's key? You're on, Scrapper. Start digging, and leave the ghost heifers to me.
Rhodes was pretty cool. Whoever asked about that.
I can hear them mooing, that awful, awful mooing.
We don't have much in the way of Nazis in Warcraft. Maybe it's one of the reasons I like that setting so much.
So what if there's a few restless spirits around here? Ain't nothing we can't handle.
Could you please hurry up?
This is the spot. Let me know when you're ready. This is the place. Start hammering. We need to get these stones cleared.
But hammering will bring the ghost cows.
Just do it. Let the Legionnaire worry about the cows.
Garethos was a racist dickhead, but he wasn't a Nazi. I know that word likes to be tossed around a bit, but Nazism has to do with two major things. First of all, straight-up fascism, which is all about the supplementation. No, that's the wrong word. Sublimation? We'll go with subjugation, even though that's not the word I was looking for. Of the individual to the state. The state is all that matters, and therefore anything that happens to the people in that state does not matter, as long as it is in service to the state. You are not relevant.
Here come more cows. Help!
Sublimation. I was right. I actually had it right. God damn it. Look, I'm tired.
Bunnies don't move.
Wait, do bunnies moo? The second thing is the vilification of an other. It's all about identifying one individual group of people who, by and large, are probably innocent and have nothing to do with anything going on, and blaming everything on that group of people. Bonus points if that group of people were born that way and didn't actually choose to be the way that they are. Yeah, scapegoating.
I got the loot. We're rich.
That's great, Browgett. Thanks for your help, Legionnaire. Here's your key, just like I promised. Don't look so surprised. What, did you think we're going to cheat you just because we're scrappers? We're smarter than that. Well, some of us are.
Good. We're even. And I'm leaving. Listen, if you two ever come to the Black Citadel, let me know, and I'll buy you a drink. A whole meal, in fact. There's a ranch just outside the city. Fresh meat. What do you say, Browgett? How does a big, juicy steak and a glass of warm milk grab you?
Ah!
Okay. Actually, that's a good point. I actually forgot about the true Horde. That is to say, Garrosh's Horde. They were Nazis. 100%. They're all dead, too. He killed their faces off. Telling you. Azeroth is so much of a better place because all the evil people got into one big room and let us kill them. Like, it's not even a joke. It's just true. No, Gul'dan was a different type of evil. He didn't care about the state. He didn't care about the other. He didn't care about anything. Gul'dan cared about one thing and one thing alone. Himself. And all he wanted to do was make other people hurt for daring to be above him. He was bitterness personified. It's actually one of the things I like about his character.
I've been looking forward to your report, Legionnaire. How did it go with the Scrappers?
We struck a bargain. I helped them. And now I've got both halves of the key. I'm ready to claim my legacy.
Good. I wonder what Argus thought was so important. And I've been cooped up in this office too long. Mind if I join you?
I'd be honored, Tribune Brimstone.
Excellent. I'll meet you out at the ruins. And call me Ridlock, soldier.
Also, while we're on the subject, FF14 kind of had the same thing that WoW did. I'm not going to name names there because that's getting a little bit into spoiler territory, but let's just say that a couple of those evil organizations in FF14 aren't there anymore because they either got in a room and let us kill them, or they killed each other. Oh, absolutely not. Not even close. Not even a little bit, Eleazar. Different, totally different category. That there. Hey, a new die. Well, yeah, true enough, Bleachfall. It's weird. Most of the common people were just people. Funny how that works out. You're joking, Pax. Hey, if anybody wants this mount, it's on sale right now. Don't buy it. You'll be crimping on my brand. Damn it! I was trying really hard not to make that pun, and I couldn't come up with another word in time. Yeah, whatever. I'm just gonna commit to it. Commit to the brand. I'm trying very hard not to, Magister. And that is the honest truth to that sentence.
Killing's like weapons practice, but with a surprise inside.
That's an interesting question. Or statement. Not a question. Goddamn.
Well, Legionnaire, ready to claim your inheritance?
You know it, sir. Ridlock.
Let's go get it then. But we need to clear out the ghosts first. They won't let us by without a fight. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't had a good fight in, well, too long.
What about the Charr tutorial that canonically was just like a few days ago?
Let's clear out these walking failures. Get your sire's treasure.
Yeah, whatever. Anyways, Honest Trailers is fine, I guess. I don't really like it that much, to be honest with you. Nothing wrong with it, I watched it for a while and I just stopped finding it funny. And so I stopped. Oh, that makes sense, old Griffin. Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's a good point. I had to level, I had to do hard, you know. It's been weeks, months. So Cinema Sins is an interesting one. I have an interesting opinion on Cinema Sins. So a lot of people hate them because they're nitpicky. And those people do not understand what Cinema Sins is. I'm going to say that as absolutely bluntly as I possibly can. There's also people who mistake Cinema Sins for actual critique on films. Those people also do not understand what Cinema Sins is. Cinema Sins is a parody site, just like any other parody thing. You don't hear those kind of complaints about half the other parody things out there for, you know, for films or for shows or for books, or for games. It's a parody. It's there as a joke. That's the joke. Now, there's a caveat there. Because you might wonder, well, hang on, Laura, didn't you stop watching Cinema Sins? Yeah, because they started taking sponsorships from BetterHelp. Here's the deal. I understand very well that being a YouTube channel, especially a YouTube channel where you have to pay the bills of multiple people, is a really hard thing to do because YouTube has been doing everything in its power for literal years in order to make being a YouTuber as hard as possible to actually make money. So, taking those kind of sponsorships is more or less required to put food on the table. No judgment. Unless you willingly and knowingly decide to go ahead and promote something that is an actual outright scam, like BetterHelp. There are several, of course, and the degree, honestly, all of them are scams, but it's a gradient, right? It's a gradient of acceptability. And BetterHelp is the worst one I've seen, personally. And the fact that Cinema Sins was willing to accept that is a mark against them, because it is their job to do their due diligence and check who it is that's paying their bills. If they didn't do their job, they're incompetent. If they did their job and decided to accept the sponsorship anyways, then there's something wrong with them. Either way. Let's see. Anything in here?
Burn me. I don't see any treasure. Maybe someone looted it already. Tell me we didn't come all this way for nothing. We're not done yet. This is only part of Greenwich Courthouse. There's also a reservoir that runs beneath the lower levels.
Sounds like the perfect place to hide valuables. Let's find a way into those lower passages.
Let's find what we're looking for before these ghosts come back.
Let me drop a little wisdom on y'all. I know Mr. Red gets this, he was just joking, but here's the thing. As time goes on, the bar kind of goes down. We find more and more ways to be less pleasant, less acceptable, less good than we used to be, right? To use a perfect example of this, you remember when the worst of the mobile games was just an interactive wallpaper that you had to spend $2 on to keep watching? That's pathetic by modern standards. That wouldn't even get someone to raise an eyebrow nowadays. Raid Shadow Legends is kind of like that. I honestly kind of wish... Yeah, exactly, Valerian. I honestly kind of wish that Raid Shadow Legends continued to be the model, because that's just straight up gacha. It's even kind of surface level gacha. It's really obvious dumb gacha. Not truly predatory bullcrap. Like I said, we've dug down from there.
Not bad. Argus Fool Killer was a wily one, that's for certain. Let's go.
Could you stop blocking me for 5 seconds? I mean, Pokemon Go makes billions of dollars, so I'm sure it's okay to someone, Elizar. I really don't know what they make money on. When I actually played Pokemon Go, which I did for a while there, I didn't spend a dime on it because you don't have to. Like, what is there to spend money on? To my knowledge, and granted I'm not fully aware of everything, but to my knowledge nothing has surpassed Diablo Immortal. It really is still the actual most predatory, most manipulative, most conniving, most deceptive, most evil, let's just use the correct word here, of all of those things out there. Most things that are worse are much more obvious about how worse they are, right? Because the typical model is to just try and have an extremely obviously terrible financial model, which 99% of your audience is going to look at and immediately bounce off of. And then, you know, 1% of the players will look at that and go, oh man, I totally want such and such, and they'll spend money, and that's where you get your money back. That's the common model. That's the norm. The thing that made Diablo Immortal so terrible was that it bypassed the obvious stuff. Oh, there is obvious stuff. That's there to make you feel smart for bypassing it. Yeah, when you play the law of averages, you only need 1% of your player base to put money into your game. Sorry, game. Is that it? Depends on your metric, whatever. Oozes, oozes! Damn it, Giga. Yes, Linerith, and I stand by that statement firmly. But if you care about something else more, then there's probably something else somewhere that has worse of that metric than Diablo Immortal does.
That's far enough. The courthouse is under my protection. No Charr leaves here alive.
I was hoping someone would say that. Come here, Foggy. I've got a history lesson for you.
And since you ghosts are such slow learners, we're gonna keep teaching it to you until it sticks.
What? Okay.
At last, the treasure. We did it, Whitlock.
Now I understand why Argus's warband couldn't split the prize. This is a Diessa chalice, an old Ascalonian treasure. It may even be the last of them.
How do you know that? You don't look like a student of human culture.
Know your enemy, soldier. Besides, I've had to sit through more than a few human god rants. Dwayna this, Grenth that.
I hear you. Thanks again for helping me find my sire's legacy.
You're welcome. It felt good to get out again. I'm starting to think I wasn't meant for office work.
No.
Enjoy the chalice, soldier. You earned it. Just be ready to answer when I call. The next time I go out for some fresh air, I want you with me.
It's Steve Blum. I forget if he voiced Rex off the top of my head for some reason. Oh god, oh god. Shoot, I was gonna say something. One of the other interesting culture bits that they don't really touch on until later. So, the humans are all constantly venerate their various gods, right? The 6 gods, 5 gods. Part of that is because of the fact that the humans were literally brought here by their gods. So, they also directly channel their energy when they cast magic. And remember, humans are very magically oriented. So, logically speaking, the humans have direct connection to their gods on a literal, like, I can walk up and say hi kind of a level. Make sense? So it makes sense that the humans venerate their deities so strongly. The Charr's only gods they've ever really had in recent memory were the Titans, who are monsters and didn't really care about them and used them and nearly got them completely exterminated. So for some strange reason, the Charr aren't particularly pro-gods. Go figure. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
Listen close, Centurion. We've got a serious problem, and you're already involved. The orders of Tyria have come to me about one of your soldiers.
Why is the background Divinity's Reach?
Hal's dead, sir. He died fighting Duke Baradin. I've seen his grave.
Yes, and before he died, Howl apparently bought a dangerous magical amulet from the necromancer Rissa. Where that amulet goes, the undead follow. Rissa has been distributing them all over the region. The Orders want to examine Howl's amulet to see what they're up against. The High Legions want to forge a working relationship with the Orders, so you're going to join their investigation. Reps from the Vigil, Derman Priory, and the Order of Whispers will meet you at...
Yeah, you know this song and dance. 3 orders, blah, blah, blah.
But focus on the one most likely to get results. Got it?
Yes, sir. Hal was one of mine. I'll do whatever it takes to get to the bottom of this.
Honestly, they would love the Warrior of Light, but well. Charr don't really care about things like stature either. So even if the Warrior of Light was like a Lalafell, they'd be like, yeah, let's go! Oops. Yeah, hang on. Oh, hey, more concept art.
It's not just about necromancy. It's also about dragons and the undead.
So you still think this necromancer
Fine. Making me kill you. God. So let's see. Favorite hub city in each MMO. So let's start with Guild Wars 2. Wizard's Tower by a wide margin. While it takes forever to load, it is awesome in basically every other way. And then I'll get back to you in a second.
Welcome, Centurion. Glad to have you with us. I am Yahala Scribepaw of the Derman Priory. My colleagues are...
I don't need you to speak for me. I'm Gon Towerbreaker of the Vigil. Glad to have another military mind on this mission.
I am Kurakon, concerned blacksmith from the Order of Whispers. We specialize in covert activity, information, infiltration, and assassination. I'm sure Tribune Brimstone briefed you, but to review, all 3 orders are dedicated to stopping the Elder Dragons. Your late bandmate may be connected.
I understand the mission parameters. Hal's grave is right there. What are we waiting for?
See? That's how a military mind works. Identify the problem, attack it head on. None of this sneaking around, talking things to death.
We were waiting for you, Centurion. There's a complication between us and the objective. Namely, a throng of undead grubs.
And since this used to be a bandmate of yours, we thought it prudent to wait before we dug him up. Now that you're here, though, let's start squashing.
I'm kind of torn on FF14.
No amulet here. There isn't even a body. Either someone dug up your friend or he dug himself out. If gone here wasn't so humorless, I might say, this is a dead end.
Wah wah.
Go hammer your anvil, blacksmith. The adults are talking. Look, our objective hasn't changed. We still need to secure one of those amulets.
I'm afraid I must leave that to you two. Without the amulet in hand, I need to confer with my colleagues before the Priory can commit to a course of action.
We have the Necromancer's records. We know the location of at least 2 more of Rissa's trinkets. I say we start in Drugar's homestead. Me and my fellow blacksmiths do a lot of business there. We have valuable contacts at the location that we can't afford to lose.
Scorch what your associates can afford. The people of Snowdrift's Haven have already been attacked, and they need our protection now.
You can't save everyone, Crusader. And since our new friend here can't be in 2 places at once, who are you going to protect, Centurion?
It's fine. I prefer it later, Giga, as you're probably well aware. Yeah, I'm really torn on FF14, honestly. None of the capital cities really jump out at me, at least on the gameplay axis. In other words, on both, right? Like, the Wizard's Tower is cool story-wise and cool gameplay-wise, hence favorite. In WoW, it'd be Valdrakken, by the way, for the same reason. Story and gameplay both. But I think I'm going to have to pick just based on story when it comes to 14. That's funny to think about. So if I had to pick just the most interesting story town, that opens it up a little. In 14. I would be remiss if I did not mention the Crystarium, which is honestly the first thing that came to mind. The other one I'm really torn on is Isengard. And by Isengard, Jesus Christ. I am tired. Ishgard. They're taking the Dragoons to Isengard. So Ishgard or Crystarium, I would say, for FF14. One of the two. If you put a gun to my head, I'd probably go with Ishgard. I mean, I do have a home there, after all.
Watch me slaughter my enemy.
Damn, I thought I could squeeze that a little bit easier. I mean, they're both really cool, story-wise. And both kind of suck. Capital Cities suck in FF14 gameplay-wise. I'm just gonna say that as bluntly as I possibly can. Favorite FF6 town? I mean, dismount. Jesus. Honestly, South Figaro is the very first one that comes to mind. And I mean, there's a reason I use it as my banner, right? I mean, all the towns in 6 are actually kind of cool to some extent or another, so... Aragon, I think we have the wrong map. What do you mean? Up there in the frozen waste, isn't that where they're taking the hobbits? Ah! By the way, I actually lied to you because I just realized my favorite city story... So I stand by the Wizard's Tower. Because the actual capital city of End of Dragons... Ugh, is the Arborstone, which is whatever. But story-wise, I love New Kaining. It's going to be our best scoring city in this particular game. I'm almost guaranteed, unless there's something better I haven't seen yet.
It's worse than I thought. The Haven's already crawling with undead creatures. We need to clean them out.
Agreed. But what about the amulet?
It's easier to search a dead body that isn't moving. Let's go.
Yeah, New Kaining it's a zone. It's not actually a city, that's the thing. It's like calling Elwyn Forest a city. Or Suramar, to use another example. You'll notice I didn't mention Suramar over in WoW. Because it's not a city, it's not a hub. Let's see, what other MMOs have I played? In Asheron's Call, ooh, that's tough between Qualabar or AQ. I forget what it stands for. I'd probably go with Qualabar, though, given a choice. In EverQuest, I can't remember the name of the place, but it's the place they added to the Plane of Knowledge. It's the only place I spent any real time in, city-wise, in that entire game. In EverQuest 2, there's really only 2 options, so that's whatever. Let's see. Other MMOs I've played long enough to actually form an opinion on. In Lotro, honestly, I've always had a fondness for the 21st Hall. But the real answer is Hobbiton, I believe. It's the Shire capital.
Bring it!
In ESO, unfortunately, I haven't really seen a lot of hubs. But I have seen Vivek, and I am inclined to agree, even having only really seen that one. No, STO does actually have hubs. In fact, it has one per playable race, such as it is. But let's be clear, STO's best hub is ESD. There's really no other options there. In Tor, I'm not sure anything other than Dromund or Coruscant count. Like, at all. I guess there's like the Alliance Fortress for several of the expansions, if that even counts. I guess it counts. No, I'm wrong. It's the frickin' base stations, isn't it? Wait, hang on. Where am I out of my points? Ooh, I'm almost capped. I need to buy something. It's more of that amazing bread that he made. And it smells like it has that amazing whipped honey on it, too. I don't care. I was gonna do a whole thing. I guess I just buy it. Sure, fine, whatever, fine. Just put that up there. We'll just bank that for right now. We'll come back to that. Oh wow, I'm already getting Dragon Bash stuff. I mean, I guess it's live now, so that makes sense.
This amulet of Rissa's was able to summon more than just undead grubs. I don't like this. Hal's grave was empty. He could be out there right now, leading an undead attack on some other haven.
Maybe, but right now, our top priority is to get this amulet back to the Citadel. The sooner we understand how it works, the better.
Agreed. With all 3 orders pitching in to study the amulet, we can figure out how to destroy it, or at least deactivate it.
Studying is for scholars and spies. They can do whatever they like with Rissa's amulet after we secure it someplace where it won't cause any more trouble.
Guild Wars 1 is a weird one, because it doesn't really have hubs in the strictest sense. It's more like every town area is a hub in Guild Wars 1. It's kind of weird, the way they do it. Having said that, one of the places I remember spending the most of my time at is, Gwen, the Eye of the North. Apparently Embark Beach is better now. Oh yeah, Ultima Online. I can picture it. I can picture the place I used to hang out in Ultima Online in my head, but I don't know the name of it. There was a tavern area, which was just there. It didn't even have anything in it. It was just a place for players to hang out and gather. And there was a really weird line where on the back of the tavern, so guards had like anti-PvP ranges, like that was manually painted on the map. So if you tried to fight another player in that range, a guard would show up and be like, "Quit it!" and kill you. But because of the way it was lined up, that PvP line went right to the edge of that tavern, like right there. And so if you're standing right here, and you're like, "Hey, come duel me," and you're like, "Okay," the guard would come over and smash that person and leave you alone. In AC, oh, I already said Qualibar. I mean, technically it's Hub.
I'm gonna come back here.
Or Portal Hub, or whatever the hell they actually called that. It was Sub for a while, then it became Hub.
The German pirates
Whenever I play,
Smarter than any wild animals you face.
Disperse. The dragons want us to covet them individually. That's why we shouldn't do it.
Glad to have you both aboard.
FF11 is clearly Windhurst.
Information from here on. Not to sell the Vigil short. Their firepower is always an asset. No need to flatter me, Tribune. I know research isn't the Vigil's strong suit. As long as what we're doing eventually leads to the dragons, we don't mind taking a back seat. Temporarily.
Reporting in, Tribune. We have one of the Necromancer's amulets. Now we just need to figure out how to deal with it.
Top Priory researchers are standing by to determine how the amulet works, and more importantly, how to neutralize it.
My sources say the Inquest has already completed their research on one of these amulets. Why waste time repeating their efforts when we could just acquire their results?
I don't trust the Inquest methodology. This is too important not to handle ourselves the right way.
Honestly, I'm just with her.
You scholars and spies know more about the right way to collect data. The Vigil will be standing by when there's action to be taken. It's your call, Centurion. Do you want to assist the Order of Whispers retrieval mission, or the Priory research effort?
Has anyone else noticed that in most of these one of the three orders missions, the orders are always like fighting each other and hating each other and yelling at each other, and this one they're actually kind of cooperating. Is anyone else weirded out by that? Anyways, I think I have to take order actually, because otherwise I won't be able to show it off. So. Yeah, stop working together. It's weird. Gross. Coordination? Cohabitation? Ugh. And there's the rain. We turned the thunder for a bit. Yeah, see, I've turned into Mr. Red. I immediately hate good video games. Now you give me some garbage. Speaking of which, good luck on Kingsfield 1. I'm curious, is it Kingsfield 1 or is it American Kingsfield 1? And yes, I actually do know the difference. Excellent. You know, I actually fair, old Griffin, I'll give you that. Oops, wrong one. Oh man, it's gonna be so bad, Mr. Red. It's gonna be awesome. Wouldn't it be funny though if it was like better than Kingsfield 4, like top to bottom? Like to you, I mean, obviously in your opinion, in your personal estimation. In other words, you enjoy it more.
Why do they call Korrikan the Blacksmith? I've never seen him smith anything black. Talk to me.
The Inquest did their crystal research in that dredge mine. They're down there now, sterilizing the site to remove any trace they were ever here. The Inquest got where it is by stealing others' research and murdering the competition. Ready to give them a taste of their own medicine.
I'm ready for anything that will settle this amulet business and leave me to Hal. Nobody messes with my warband, not even after they're dead.
Your fallen comrade is already a part of this case, so solving it will tell us what happened to him. Shall we begin?
My mother was asking about the tote setup I had going. Peekaboo. Oh my god. Why do they call them the Inquest? Can't they dip their quills in any direction? No, Inquest, not Inquest.
I found something. Are these the research results we were after?
Let me see. Yes, you found them. There's quite a bit of useful information here. And a few Inquest secrets that my blacksmithing friends can put to good use.
What else do they say?
Not here. I'll fill you in back at the Citadel. With these results and the help of the other orders, we should be able to wrap this up.
Photo picture there. You think normal polar bears are bad? Try polar bears who can talk and wield giant maces. And I would say, yeah, those are. We have access to some interesting tech in real life. We're not unified and we barely employ our own technology, but we do have it. Look, Giga. And don't listen to any YouTuber that says the Galactic Empire totally couldn't beat real-life Earth, because they're idiots.
The German Priory is looking forward to working with the Citadel
Make
on
it
this
regret
tribune.
fighting you, as is the Order of Whispers. The dragons want us to cover their individuals.
But with a surprise aside.
Can we please? Can we please? 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 Please stop talking. You've literally already said this dialogue. This exact dialogue. Shut up.
No need to flatter me,
Shut up.
As long as whatever I do eventually leads to the dragons, I don't mind taking a back seat. Temporarily.
Go, please.
Report.
Oh, we'd get crushed, Elizar.
Eager to hear your report, Centurion. We're seeing an increase in undead attacks all over the region. Safe to say Rissa's amulets are responsible.
We've learned that they're connected to the Orient Dragon. They turn their owners into undead and draw other undead to them.
The Vigil has one of the amulets stashed in our HQ. Are you saying that my people are in danger?
You militant types ought to be used to that by now. With so many innocents at stake, the Vigil can defend itself. The Priory is working on a way to detect the amulets. We'll use our device to stop the next outbreak before it starts.
And if the Vigil falls, who will defend all those innocents it already protects?
And while you're working that out, I'll withdraw to confer with my superiors. You have a tough choice ahead of you, Centurion. What's it going to be?
The only faction I haven't done yet, as per our usual approach. Oh, it won't give me the next quest. Okay, fine, fine. Oh, sure. All you have to do is find a particular Warcraft character and nuke where they happen to be. That's easy. All they can do is teleport away pretty much the moment they find out the danger's coming. You also have to understand, Azeroth as a setting is a lot more unified than we are in real life. It's actually a major theme of Warcraft as a story, is the unification of people across against a greater foe. We can't even stay unified within a single country. And I'm not calling any particular country out there. That's just true everywhere, right? Honestly, it kind of is. I know you're joking, Mr. A, but it kind of is World of Unity Craft. Which is funny, because all three of the big three follow that general storyline. You notice that? World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, and FF14, a whole bunch of different disparate powers, nations, and polities start off, separate. And then as the story progresses, they all just kind of start working together more, unifying more, sharing technology, sharing culture, sharing people. I know, right, Gig? It's weird. I believe you that ESO does that as well. Obviously, I can't speak to that, but I believe you. I feel like I'm not supposed to be up here. Let's, do this.
You there.
I didn't think the Charr quest chain would take this long. We've just been doing the Charr quest chain today. Or this shift. 2 hours of the Charr quest chain.
Outdid themselves.
How does it work?
Simple. I activate the device to send out a wave of energy that resonates with the Dragon Crystal's magic in the amulet.
Any undead the wave encounters will show up on the readout. Remember, one of them will be wearing Rissa's trinket.
The effect doesn't last very long, but if we lose sight of the enemy, we can always send out another pulse.
Sounds good. Let's field test this little gem and see if it works like it's supposed to.
I mean, you're right, Blade Jamal. But I do think Giga is right as well.
Hollow's toy detect Moa burgers as I
This way. The readout is pointing to this way.
I mean, it's not exactly an uncommon story trope, jokes aside. The overall story of, like, all of Star Trek has been about the slow unification of more and more and more and more people across different races, species, times, etc. Star Wars usually leans in that direction as well. Let's ignore the sequel trilogy for a second. You're okay, you're okay. I know you don't like thunder. Lotra leans that way too, honestly. Ooh, cabbage stir fry. I mean, Tor, another good example, while we're on the subject. And STO. I know I just said Star Trek, but ST, since we're specifically talking MMOs. I mean, there's a reason that the Alliance became the de facto faction in STO after a while.
I don't like this place. Too tight, too confined. Be on your guard.
It's okay. I've got a spear.
These grubs aren't wounded or ill. They're just...
Go away.
We're getting close. That undead is wearing the amulet.
It's Harridan the Cursed. No, not even a chance, Elizar. What you're asking is what's one of the most commonly asked alternate history questions ever. And the problem is, anybody who's ever studied history ever will tell you, no, there's no way in hell. Agreed, Ross.
You deploy new technology. Let's see the Vigil call out enemies they can't even see.
I can't deny that it worked well, but there are other amulets out there, and Hal the Brazen.
True, the case is far from closed, but our success here brings us that much closer to the source of the problem, the original Dragon Crystal itself.
Let's take this amulet and the detector back to the Citadel. Gridlock and the other orders need to know what we've achieved.
Of course, though between the detector and the reagents Scholar Vivian's team provided, the Priory has this matter well in hand.
Let me take care of a few final details here, and then I'll join you and the others.
But the problem is, you just asked me an extremely in-depth, long-term question, Elizar. The kind of thing that I basically can't answer unless I just sit here for 2 hours and lecture. So that's my answer to you. Give me a couple hours and some time with some research, and I'll give you a more concrete answer to that. Oh, if you're that one. This is great. I'm about to have a package delivered, so I'm gonna have to like rush up to go grab it as soon as it's delivered because I don't want it rained on. It knew. The rain knew.
The orders disagree on how to proceed, so I have a plan. You choose which one will help. In return, I've arranged for you to permanently join that order. You'll still be a Centurion of the High Legions, but you'll also be a link between us and your chosen order. Your warband will continue doing Citadel business while you're gone.
I understand. Hal's involvement made this personal, but the Orient Dragon is a global threat. We need strong, reliable allies against it.
Okay, people. Time to decide. We have the means to find the Necromancer's Dragon Crystal, and to destroy it.
All thanks to the Priory. We know what we're doing, so now let us destroy the crystal without interference. We work better that way.
There's no way I'm leaving a vital search and destroy mission to a bunch of academics. Wait for Vigil support before you make a move.
Either way, the Order of Whispers will do what we always do. You draw their attention, then strike from the shadows.
It's your call, Centurion. But remember that you're not just helping out. You're joining the order you choose.
The guy who voices Korrikan sounds really familiar, but it doesn't list his voice actor.
I overheard. You're leaving us to join one of the orders? I'm accepting a special assignment from the Tribune, and the warband will need a leader while I'm gone. That's you, Legionnaire.
Me? But I'm not smart enough to give orders. I can follow them, or pass them along. Are you sure about this?
I need someone I can trust, someone effective. You've got some rough edges, but there's nobody else I'd want calling the shots. If anyone objects, send them to me, or just crack their heads until they think different. You're in charge now. Act like it. I know you can handle this.
Thanks, boss. You can count on me. Good luck in Lion's Arch. We'll be waiting when you get back.
But we'll go with Vigil with these, because it just makes sense, right?
The Vigil is the right choice, soldier. You'll be a strong asset to us. Your skills will make a real difference in the world.
The Vigil understands what this is. War. The dragon threat needs to be confronted head-on, starting with Necromancer Rissa. By now, Hal is most likely one of her mindless minions. He deserves to rest in peace, and she deserves to die. What's our next move?
Direct assault with overwhelming force. The Priory can destroy the crystal, but we will clear the way for them to do so. If they falter, or their magic potion fails, we'll bash it until it shatters. Meet me at Lichcroft Mere, and we'll put an end to this.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely, Mr. Red. You'll notice even for the purposes of a run, whose purpose is to cover as much of the content as possible and review it, I gave up on that pretty quickly. Hi, Evo. People were asking about your game, and several people were asking about your other games. It turns out several of your other games are also on itch.io. So just as a heads up on that, some people were looking into those.
My guard don't miss much.
I have also already gotten one complaint about the camera issue. Sorry. Grab this first. There we go. But yeah, no, one of the reasons I say Guild Wars 2 needs like the biggest grain of salt of all of the MMOs to try out is because, as I showed off on camera, if you just sit down and play the game as it's intended, you'll get an intro story quest, and you'll be told, all right, go do some events and go do some hearts. See you in 10 levels, and it's like... It is 100% easier and quicker, Mr. Red. But it's still there.
The Vigil? That's what I would have picked. We're like brain twist. Listen up and listen good. The Priory team went in without us. They'll never complete this mission without us. We need to find them and make sure their potion reaches the Necromancer's crystal. I'm glad you're here. The Priory jumped the gun and went in without Vigil support. Gon has more details.
That doesn't actually sound like the Priory.
The Priory team took the detector and the crystal-dissolving potion. Our objective is to find them. Ready for your first mission, recruit? More than ready. All we're doing is making sure the potion reaches the crystal. They should have given it to us in the first place. Never send a pencil pusher to do a soldier's job. I'm ready to move when you are. And I'm not leaving until Hal, Rissa, and the Dragon Crystal have all been dealt with. Listen up. Those Priory eggheads jumped the gun, but we can't let them foul up this mission. Spread out.
Anyways, I'm kind of with you, Giga. Weirdly enough, the Charr one seems to be one of the better ones, and that's just weird. Like, you wouldn't expect that, right? Thank you. Scooch this up here, out of the cat's reach. There we go. I mean, Sylvari is Sylvari, and they do some decent stuff there, but like, you know?
Hal, can you hear me? Do you understand? Give me a sign that you're still you, or I'll have to... Look, just say something. Hunger. It hungers. We hunger.
Yeah, that's about right.
He's gone, Centurion. The corruption's got him. That's not the soldier you knew. Yeah, and this thing insults his memory. Hal was a good soldier, and my comrade. I'm not leaving him like this. Wow, you are awful.
And honestly, I'm with what Mr. Red has already said. We're already at the point where the story is better. Well, the game is better than if you're just roaming around doing hearts and events. Those early hearts and events. The worst part? I've actually talked about this before when we talk about quit points and onboarding. The single most likely spot... let me walk this back. If you make a game where people can select a race, it is statistically probable that most players will pick human. It doesn't matter what the other options are. It's very normal, and for plenty of reasons, which I will not go into now. We've talked about this before. So, there's a, for lack of a better way to put it, requirement, if you're going to have a racial intro, to make the human intro better, because more people are going to see that, right? We actually talked about this extensively in World of Warcraft, because of Elwyn Forest and the Northshire Abbey, and Westfall. And all the effort that was put into that zone, even back in vanilla, yeah, exactly, in order to make that area a little bit better to play. In Guild Wars 2, humans, or Norn, let's ask Blade Traval. Blade Traval, what do you think of the new human experience? Going through one of the worst starter zones in the entire game. Actually, I don't know why I'm saying one of. I'm sorry, Queensdale is the worst starter zone in the game. It is. As I mentioned before, for those of you who weren't here for the speech, up here is fine. This is actually good, I would go so far as to say. But the moment you cross this barrier and go to the other, like, 2/3 of the zone down here, the quality of the events and hearts drops off instantly. Being able to glow in the dark does help. Can confirm. FF14 bypasses this problem because your race has nothing to do with where you start. Instead, your class determines where you start. It would be fascinating to learn what the most made starter class is, right? Like what most brand new characters class pick, right? In FF14. I would bet Gladiator too. But I don't know. You can't.
Ah, my furry friends. You've come far and accomplished much, only to die and be reborn as my undead slaves.
You owe me, Necromancer. For Hal the Brazen, and everyone else your amulets defiled. I'm going to paint this swamp red with your blood.
That's doubt it.
Kinda gross.
The dragon crystal has so much power. Besides, I've already imbued the mire with enough toxic magic to kill you where you stand.
She's right, Centurion. We need to deal with her quickly. If the Priory potion is still in that cave, we can still end this.
Arcanist?
It's just what I had in mind, Tribune.
Really?
Come on. Let's see if the Necromancer can resurrect herself.
I would not have guessed that. I honestly would have figured it would be Paladin, that is to say Gladiator, or Thaumaturge. Then again, people might be put off because it's called Thaumaturge and not Black Mage. By contrast, Arcanist sounds a little bit more like Mage.
Search their bodies. We need to recover that potion.
So I guess that makes sense.
Congratulations, recruit. Your comrade can rest in peace now. And we stopped the undead from flooding this whole region. There's a lot more coming. The Orient Dragon also makes undead, and it won't stop at a single region. It'll take over the entire world.
Then we take the offensive. The dragon is our new target, just like the crystal was. We kill it, we cut off the flow of Orient undead at its source.
Agreed. But we don't have the ordnance or personnel to take on the dragon directly. Not yet. Don't tell me about Dragon Soldier. Ever heard of Destiny's Edge? I was a member. We nearly took down an Elder Dragon all on our own.
Then show us how. We need to work together if we're going to defeat it.
You're right. The Charr can't do this alone. Fortunately, I heard from one of my old guildmates. She wants to meet in Lion's Arch about that very thing. Lion's Arch is also your next stop, recruit. There's a Vigil contact waiting with your first official mission. Glad to have served beside you. Good luck. I'll keep an eye out for you in the city. If we're lucky, we'll get another chance to fight together. Do the Legion's proud, soldier. Dismissed.
And
There's a Gone Tower builder out there, too. Nah, you probably just fight.
And that was all the racial quests. My god, that took way longer than I thought it would. I have decided, for no particular reason, to never, ever, ever do any of that ever again. I don't remember. It's whatever is on your itch.io page. You've literally already gotten a response from someone who says, hey, there's a camera issue. And you said, I know. It's in your comments on the page. thaumaturge, I don't remember exactly what it means, but in common parlance, it means someone who is specialized in two separate vocations. For example, Golbez is usually called the thaumaturge because he is a fighter, brawler specifically, who is also a mage, right? Two vocations. So, in D&D, it's divine and arcane magic, and in FF14, it's, I guess, fire and ice? Umbral and astral? I don't know. I'm not sure why they call it thaumaturge. It's a black mage. It's a black mage. So I'm an idiot, right? I was just checking my app to see where my package was. One second, please. In fact, it's 2 packages, and it contains several things that I was really looking forward to get. So, I changed my default address to here. And apparently, Amazon did not get that message. And I know I've changed it to here because I've actually ordered several things for here already. But it is very clearly going to the old address. Now, that's not worth a 2-hour drive. But that is extremely irritating. That would be a 2-hour drive for them, Evo. So... There's no fixing that. I have just wasted my money. That's all there is to it. If I am lucky, I can convince my sister or my brother-in-law to take them to the nearby UPS store and get them returned, just in the boxes, you know. Get out of my inventory. God damn it. Go away. Okay, okay. No, you don't understand, Giga. They haven't sold the house yet. So they're still there. Anyways. What are we feeling about the racial stories? Obviously, they all suck. But, like, this is all about the gradient of suck, right? Glancing at my own notes, which I've been jotting down as we go, it looks like the only ones which really dipped their toes into positivity territory are Sylvari and Charr. And that's kind of the direction I'm leaning. All the quests themselves suck, of course. Irritating interactables, weird padding, like weird unskippable stuff while you just wait for people to get along with things. It's just frustrating. But that's on the gameplay axis. Of course the gameplay isn't good. We all know that. They do all start small world, and I do agree that's a good thing to start with. I cannot believe that. Alright, whatever. I might as well order everything I just bought again. I'm gonna laugh if it defaults to the correct address right now. Why is there no... Okay, there it goes.
Bulk
prices are non-negotiable.
Sure. Give me a second, Colgrim. Alright, go to checkout.
All prices are non-negotiable.
More violets, I say. Less violence. May the stars guide you.
No, that's right. My address is still the default address, my current address, my new address. So, I have no idea why the hell all of this stuff went there. I am so confused about that. No, I know exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ask, call Sis, text Sis. I'm gonna be like, hey, you just got several packages. Please take them to Amazon or take them to UPS store and get them returned. There's literally a side thing at the nearby UPS store they're at where they can just it's just the Amazon returns and that's all they do there. Just okay. Okay, so we've got most played profession is Guardian, but by a minuscule stat. Most played profession by playtime is Guardian by a minuscule amount. Like that's a nice spread, so that's not really anything dominant. Most races. Anyone want to guess? Anyone guess the most played race in the game? By double. By literal double. Yeah, human. In fact, it is human, Norn, Ashura, Sylvari, Charr in terms of total. And in terms of playtime, it is human, Sylvari, Ashuran, Norn, Charr. Now, can anyone tell me which gender is the most played gender? Alright, so... of course it's female. Human, female, Mesmer, human, female, Necro, human, female, Elementalist, human, female, Guardian, all of those... Sorry, no, I went too far. So human, female, Mesmer, human, female, Necro, and human, female, Elementalist are the most played. There's a bit of a drop down then to human, female, Guardian, human, female, Thief. That's actually mine. Human, female, Ranger. And then human, male, Guardian. Ooh. Human, male, Warrior, human, female, Warrior. Charr, male, Warrior. Sylvari, female, Ranger. Human, male, Necro. Human, male, Thief. Norn, female, Guardian. Norn, female, Ranger. Human, male, Ranger. Norn, male, Guardian. Human, female, Revenant, of all things. And then Sylvari, female, Necromancer. That's funny. Okay.
Seize the moment.
So I have some paperworky stuff to do. It's 1 billion degrees in here, and I need to try and arrange for a return on packages that are about an hour and a half that way. So I'm going to go and chop off here, get things cleaned up, and hopefully tomorrow we'll be able to actually get some real chunks bitten out of the vanilla story, because I'm really tired of being in vanilla. I'll see you guys.